So now let's try another verse from the Christ. Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. So here's a verse from this other guy. For whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. So, see, the Christ says not everyone says, Lord, Lord, but then this other guy says, for whoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. Do you hear any difference in this? You ever heard any preacher say, just say Jesus, you're saved? Where do you think they got that from? Here's from this other guy. The free gift came upon all men. Christ says, not everyone. Where's this free gift business come from? Oh, here's interesting from this other guy. I robbed other churches, taking wages of them to do you service. Now, doesn't that seem like a very high moral standard? You want somebody going out there robbing some other church to give it to you? Some people in this country are kind of upset about the fact that their money is being taken and distributed out to other people. Sometimes other people don't even do anything except continuously say, give me more, give me more, give me more. So, we can rob other churches and take wages of them to do you service. That's what this other guy says. Isn't that great? Here's from the Christ, or from the book of Exodus, the Christ speaking there. Verily my Sabbath you shall keep, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generation. Now here's what the other guy said. One man esteemeth one day above another, another esteemeth every day alike. Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. Now wait a minute. You know, if I esteem to do Monday or Saturday or Sunday or Wednesday or whatever day I want, that's okay to this other guy. The Christ says, mine, Sabbath. Mine, the specific one. He comes forward and he says in Exodus, whoever doeth any work in the Sabbath day, he shall surely be put to death. Of course, you know, hey, this other guy says, hey, pick out any day you want, doesn't matter. Christ says this is for a perpetual covenant. Wonder why everybody's doing so many different days? Oh, well, you know, this other guy said, pick out any day you want. Here's what the Christ says. For I say unto you that except your righteousness shall not exceed the righteousness of the scribes and the Pharisees, ye shall in no case enter into the kingdom of heaven. Now, this guy I've been reading from, he tells you he is a Pharisee. And yet, how in the world can you possibly begin to exceed the righteousness of a Pharisee if you're following a Pharisee? Can you explain that to me, anybody? The Pharisee's telling you, just do whatever you want, follow me, and everything be hunky-dory. Do whatever you want. If it feels good, be led of the Spirit, sit there and, you know, okay, well, the Spirit told me I could do it on Wednesday or Monday or Saturday or Sunday. Doesn't really matter, just so I do it. And how many people do you know that go to church on whatever day they go to church? And they're there for an hour and a half, and then they go down to the shopping mall and go shopping, or they go out to dinner and spend money, or they come home and they mow their yard and they trim their hedges. They don't sit there and rest. They don't study the Word of God. But of course, they don't have to if you listen to this other guy. Isn't that interesting? Let's see one of the top Pharisees recognized in the world for over 4 decades. Let's see what he said. And this is the famous Rabbi Louis Finkelstein. And this is in his book, The Pharisees, the sociological background of their faith. And he states in the foreword, Phariseeism became medieval rabbinism. Medieval rabbinism became modern rabbinism. But throughout these changes in name, the spirit of the ancient Pharisees survives unaltered. Now, in our society, I hear all kinds of people, and they start talking about Jews. I don't talk about Jews. I'm talking about what other people talk about. And they want to talk about Zionists. And they want to then say, that's who it is. And then they wonder what, and they sometimes say, oh, these Semites. And then, the Anti-Defamation League comes up and says, you're being anti-Semitic. I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm anti-Pharisee. I'm anti-Canaanite. Real simple. If they want to come and prosecute me and say, hey, you're talking bad about Canaanite, I'll say, yes, I sure am. Be happy to walk into your courtroom. But first, you need to put it in writing, and then you got to speak to the court reporter and say, I am of the seed of the devil. Because that's what the Christ said. They are the seed of the devil. And I'm real proud to be pointing out who the Canaanites and the seed of the devil are. Do you really want to follow those types of people? And I hear this constantly. Constantly I hear this. For the Jews, the Zionists, call them what they are. Canaanite, Pharisee. Identify the opposition. Got a little bit of music coming? Please come on back to the gathering offering. Welcome back to the gathering offering, ladies and gentlemen. And you may go to freedom-school.com. And you can go to the link to my name, Jerry Kirk. And you can go to Chapter 1, Part C, Choosing Upside. Chapter 1, Part C, Choosing Upside, freedom-school.com. And you can read a lot of material about what typed out, few typos, this, that, and the other. Don't have a really good legal secretary or somebody like that to take care of me. And take care of those typos and things. And you can read it, and you can see book, chapter, and verse. And I've just barely scratched the surface of this subject. And you've got to make a decision. Whose side do you want to be on? Do you want to be on a Pharisee's side, or do you want to be on the Christ side? Now, you remember I mentioned to you about this father-in-law and son-in-law business? And we had to hunt down the mom's name? Well, here's a way to do it. I'm in the book of Romans, chapter 16, verse 13. Salute Rufus, chosen in the Lord, and his mother and mine. They had the same mother. Rufus was Rufus Pudens Prudentus. And Ananias' daughter married Mr. Pudens. Rufus's was the offspring. Now, Mr. Pudens was the chief financier for all of the Roman legions. He was the Rothschild. He was, and he is, still his family is the bankers of the world. They are the Federal Reserve System. They are the International Monetary Fund. They are the Development Fund for underdeveloped third world nations. That's where the stock of the Federal Reserve is, guys. They're the same people. Now, Rufus was the offspring, and he was a half-brother to Paul. And what happened was, his mom, as given in by Paul, was Priscilla. So Priscilla's married to Mr. Food, and Ananias had a couple other sons. One of them caught the flu and died. Another one got into a duel, and he died. And all of a sudden, Ananias didn't have anybody to be the next high priest. He said, "Oh, Mr. Putin, I got a problem. I got to have my daughter back. And I got this up-and-coming guy called Caiaphas. And he's going to marry my daughter, and maybe they'll have a son, and I'll have a way to pass on the genetic position of high priest of the Pharisee-Sadducee religion." That's what happened. Now, people want to say, well, how does this come into play with me? Come on back after the top of the hour break, ladies and gentlemen.